Hello students, your instructor here, John Medula, with another screencast. This one about drawing letter forms with Illustrator. So to do this, let's just click this and get that out of the way. First thing I'm going to do is spend some time in the View menu. So if I go to View, I'm going to go down to Hide Artboards. What that's going to do is, I don't see the artboard, essentially I'm just working all on Scratchboard, because it's not really worried about what the relation is to the page right now. I'm just drawing the letter forms for the sake of letter forms. It's more important how they relate to each other than how they relate to the page. Next thing is go to View. I want to go to Show Grid, not the transparency grid. If you do that, you'll get this checkerboard look, which is a lot like Photoshop, so hide that. Well, I want View, Show Grid. And I also want to make sure Snap to Grid is checked. So let's say I'm drawing a letter form that's going to be, I don't know, let's say 20 units tall. So these are in groups of 4. So just click here, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, click there. Notice how it snaps perfectly. I didn't hit a line or anything like that. And it's going to be based on 16 wide, so 4, 8, 12, 16, like this. And let's say I'm making the letter A right now, and I want my A to curve. I'm going to connect this back here. This will complete the path, or close the path, they say. Now, if I want my A to be like angular on two sides and round on this side, let's say, what I would do, or could do, is I could have my pen tool, and really to speed up this process, I didn't have to go back to this panel all the time. I can carefully hover over this. It's called a tear off. And once I'm hovered over it, I let go and it creates a separate panel of these. So I don't have to keep going back and holding down on this. Once I've got this, I'll click the Add Anchor Point tool and just click it anywhere in here. And then I can convert it to a round anchor point. And then I can use my white arrow and drag this out. And you'll see how it's ratcheting, essentially, how that's going. So if, for example, when I'm working on the curve for my letter A, let's say it's like this, if I don't want it to ratchet to, to the grid, as I'm adjusting more arbitrary things like curves, I can always go here and uncheck Snap to Grid, make my curves, and then recheck Snap to Grid for the future points I want to draw. So I've got this, and like, well, this is great, but how am I going to get how am I going to get the middle cut out so I have something like an A? Well, this is where you can use other tools besides just the pen tool to your advantage. So I click on this, and I'm just going to hold Alt and Shift and drag a copy. And again, I snap this to the grid right there. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle that is, let's just say, so again, notice how nicely that is when that snaps to the grid for me. Make it a little bit longer. And this rectangle I'm going to make a different color so it's easy to see. Same with this. And I'm just going to move this over so it ratchets to right around there. So with all these selected, I can go here. And I'm going to go to my Pathfinder panel, and I'm going to go to Divide. What this allows me to do is keep all these things here, and then Object, Ungroup. And I can just click off and click in the areas that I don't need. So I don't need this. I'll click on this and delete it. I don't need this, or this, or this. I do want to keep this, so maybe this I'll color black, because I want to keep that. And this part of the curve I want to keep. But this part of the A and this part of the A I don't want, let's just say. So I can just delete those and delete that. And this is looking good, but what I need now is a crossbar. So what I can do is, again, grab that rectangle tool, and I'm just going to draw it out. Let's just say like this. So it's about that thick and that wide. And then now, this is all separate shapes, and I can leave them as separate shapes as I'm drawing this out because it's not finished yet. Or if I desire, I would suggest leave them separate shapes, but you can make a copy of it, maybe. Make a copy of it down here. And this one I want to be all black, and then I want to go to my Pathfinder, and I want to unite them together. I can see now it's one shape that has a hole cut out here and a counter area here as well. And that's my letter A. So that's something I can do with this. Alright? And of course, all the other drawing capabilities in Illustrator that you can use. So that's that, and have fun.